Coach Greg, and I am a kinesiologist. I am an expert in a few things, and one of them is how to build muscle. Can you build muscle in a calorie deficit? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. And I'm going to explain to you and prove to you, and you will fully understand this concept, and no longer will hundreds and thousands of people need to write me every day saying that they don't think you can and you can't and trying to prove me wrong, because you will be able to watch this video and you will understand. I will keep this simple. I am not going to explain it above your head using a bunch of science articles that no one understands. It's going to make perfect sense. Okay, are you ready? To build muscle, you need 3 main things. I'm not going to go to every single list down the list. You want to do that? You can feel free to read 19 hours straight and figure it out. 3 main things. 1, the main one, water. You need H2O. Water is mostly, muscles mostly water, okay? Mostly water. You need water. Can you get water in a calorie deficit? Yes, guess what? Diet Orange Crush. Water. If I'm in a deficit, I can still drink plenty of water. Water's needed to build muscle. Boom, step 1, done. Number 2, protein. Protein. How hard is that to get on a deficit? You think we need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight? You don't need more than that. All of us in a deficit can eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That is very easy. I'm 200 pounds. I can eat 200 grams of protein, 800 calories in a deficit. I eat 3,000 calories a day and I'm in a deficit. I can certainly eat 800, okay? Protein gives you the amino acids and it allows you for the materials to build muscle. So you need the water and you need the muscle. And what else do you need? You need energy. Energy is required. You can't build muscle without energy, just like you can't build a house without energy. If I have my hammer and I have no energy, I can't lift up the hammer to pound the nail because I don't have the energy. You need energy to build the muscle. You need it. Say, you take all this protein, you make the amino acids, you do everything, you work it together, blend it up. Woo! Not getting too sciencey here. This makes sense to you. And you build muscle with energy, okay? Those 3 things you must have. There's a 4th special one. It's a special one. It's not really in the body. That's why it's special. It's a training stimulus. You need a reason for the muscle to grow. You can't just sit back and watch TV all day long and take steroids and eat and drink and whatever and build muscle. It doesn't happen. You need it to want to grow. And by want, it means you need to force it to do something that it's not wanting to do, and then it has to adapt and then to grow and build. So we call this, I don't know if we do, it's progressive overload. You progressively overload the muscle and make it want to grow. So in this calorie deficit, if you're training properly, as in, you're doing the time under tension, the proper volume, the rest between sets, the frequency of training, you're training once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. We can all debate how often you need to do, but the bottom line, just assume you're training right. And assume you're getting in enough water. Assume you're eating enough protein. The last step here, the hardest step, is the energy part. You need enough energy to build the muscle. So let's get into a bit of science. You cannot take energy and just get rid of it. Bye. It's done. Energy, the law of thermodynamics. Energy, conservation of energy. Okay, you have energy. It can't be created or destroyed. I can't just say, kaboom, I have energy. Yes. You can't. You can't breathe in air and have energy. You need calories, food, fats, proteins, carbs, strawberries, apples, chicken, sushi, popcorn, French toast. You need to eat something. So that gives you the energy. Does that make sense? You can't create or destroy the energy. If you have energy in your body, it's body fat, okay? We all pinch it. Even if you're shredded, I'm pretty lean. I'm like 8-9% fat. There's still lots of fat in there. 8 or 9% of 200 pounds is 16 to 18, 20 pounds. I have almost 20 pounds of fat on this body, even though I'm lean. Let's say I was just stupid shredded, 3 to 4%. Still 7 pounds of fat on this body. It still is a lot of fat. Fat has a lot of calories, 3,500 calories per pound of fat. So if you have 10 pounds of fat on your body, you have 35,000 calories, okay? That's a lot. It can't be created or destroyed. Okay, so if I'm in a deficit, so as in, if I need 3,000 calories to sustain this 8 or 9% with this muscle, with this activity level, with this amount of blabbing and flashing my arms around, if I need that many calories to maintain and I go down some, I'm in a deficit. So let's say I go from 3,000 to 2,700, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm in a 300 calorie deficit, okay? People will say, you can't build muscle anymore. It's impossible. Well, you can maybe because you're on steroids and it. Forget it. I don't care. Natural, whatever. You have 300 calories being removed because you're in a deficit. So what happens? Well, your body starts to burn fat. The fat gets away from the bicep or the rolls on the side or the hips. Men or women are saying, make more women videos. This is for women. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. Fat from your hips, cellulite, I don't care. Okay? This applies to everybody. Natural enhanced applies to everybody. Okay? So you have extra calories coming away from fat. So fat is energy. You can't create or destroy this. So the fat coming off the fat that's melting off your body is now energy in the body somewhere. Okay? Now remember, what do we need to build muscle? We needed water, we needed the protein, and we need some energy. Well, there's some fat that it just melted off. I mean, not melt, you know what I mean? There's some fat that just got removed, and it's energy. That energy from the fat, it could be burned off as heat. It could be burned off as NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It could be burnt off jumping jacks, burning it off. You can burn it off a whole bunch of different ways. The heart's beating, it's burning it off. It can be used, now think of this, it's energy. It can be used to build muscles. Yes. So the fat energy can be used to build muscle. So don't think when you're in a deficit, it's just, I'm in a deficit, I'm in a surplus, I burn muscle or I build muscle, build fat, lose. No, it can do both at the same freaking time because there's two things going on in your body. There's in fact millions of things going on, but the two main things we're thinking about is building muscle or building fat. You can build muscle and lose fat. You can build fat and lose muscle. Both can happen at the same time. There are two different processes happening in your body. So on the one side, over here, over there, they're burning fat. That warehouse, that company is burning fat. Over here, they're in charge of building muscle. Awesome. The energy from this side of the room is going to that side of the room to build muscle. Boom. You get it now? That's what's happening. The energy is being used to build muscle. It can be in a deficit. It doesn't have to be in a surplus. You can build muscle in a deficit if the deficit is not too small here. I'm not talking about a starvation diet where you're fat in your off season and you're like, oh, Coach Greg said I can build muscle in a deficit, so I'm not going to eat anything. I'm just going to eat nothing. I'm going to fast for 5 days like Elliot Hulse said. I'm just not going to eat, or I'm just going to eat once a day. Now, guys, it's important to eat properly to get the nutrients you need, okay? It's important. And the calorie deficit can't be so low because then you have no energy. And if your calorie deficit is so low that you can't train hard, then your stimulus for growth isn't there. So it does matter more. It's harder to build muscle in a deficit because more shit has to go right. You have to eat better and time it better. You have to have more protein available. Your 5 meals a day, like I've been preaching, it has to have protein. Less than that, it's not as optimal. Sure, fasting eat once a day, it's still possible. It's just harder, okay? And training properly. You need that progressive overload. You can't overtrain if you're not used to. You can't take a beginner and say, train like Greg, I'll go to failure, go nuts. No, you have to basically ease your way into it and slowly get harder and harder and harder and harder, okay, with the training. So you have to do all that. Now, don't diet too hard because you need some energy. If you diet too hard, you don't have the energy, okay? So that's why I suggest a slow diet. You can't be losing 3 and 4 pounds a week. It just is too hard. That's why I preach, don't bulk. If you bulk, you're gonna get too fat, and unless you want to diet for 9 months straight, sure, then you can bulk and slowly lose it off. But who's doing that? People are dieting for 4 months. They're fat pieces of shit, and then they have 4 months of diet, crash diet, 3 hours cardio a day. You don't have the energy. You're doing 3 hours of cardio. If you have 3 hours of cardio, you're doing this friggin', your fat's coming off of here. The energy's on this side of the room, building muscles over there. This side of the room's all doing everything. They're doing all the cardio. And screw freaking building muscle. We're too tired burning fat. The two different sides are fighting against each other. Slow diet, you can do it. Okay, for more videos, or to see previous videos, they're blooped up here. I'll get into more of this surplus, deficit, anyway, GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IFBB Pro, Instagram. Click the subscribe and be sure to click that bell button so that you can watch the video right away when it comes out, because you might not want to miss it and you might not have time later. Anyway, till next time.